Hey there, friends. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Gwen from the Dr. Gwen International, Inc. and host of the iTunes show, the Dr. Gwen podcast show. Last week, you will have remembered we talked about how to prioritize your tasks. I find that there are quite a number of people who struggle with handling their daily tasks on a regular basis. Sometimes it's really difficult to prioritize so you know exactly what needs to be done and in what order. And we talked about the Eisenhower matrix last time, which helps you to prioritize your tasks based upon their importance and their urgency. I also gave you a template that you can use to identify what are the areas in your life that are more important to you. Because if you're going to figure what is important and what is urgent, it's really important that you get where your passions lie, where your interests lie. Otherwise, you'll be shooting in the dark. You wouldn't really know what is important to you and consequently what is urgent. Of course, there are urgent things that fall on your plate which are not important, like someone rushing in your door and asking you to take part in something that you may or may not have any interest in. But as you have learned from the last video or the last blog, you are to spend most of your times in the important and not urgent category. Because if you find yourself in the important and urgent category, you're going to be completely burnt out. You don't want to spend the bulk of your time there. And what I do recommend is that you delegate the responsibilities. Find someone who may be willing to take on that responsibility for you so that you can pay attention to the things that are most important. Now, what do you do, though, when you have actually found what those tasks are that are important to you? Because just knowing what those tasks aren't going to help you to get them done. You have to have a way to systematize the process so it actually gets done. So I was hoping that with my video, I would be able to share some screens, but I understand that Facebook now seems to have a screen sharing option that I'm not sure how it works, and I didn't want this to go wonky on me, so I wasn't going to experiment with it. But what I will do is I will implement some screen sharing features with this video on my blog so that you will be able to go and see exactly what I'm talking about, and you will also have an opportunity to download some of these resources that I'm also going to share with you. So once you've gotten on track and you know what your tasks are, what do you do about that? What do you do about your priorities? There is no secret that we all have 168 hours in a week. That is 24 multiplied by 7. Now, most of us, we sleep for maybe 56 of those hours, some more, some less. And we spend time eating, we spend time taking care of ourselves, like our physical bodies. But have you ever wondered or paid attention to how you spend the bulk of your time? Do you spend your time wisely? Or do you waste your time so that you have no clue how your day actually went? Because we're talking today about staying on track with your daily tasks. And if you have no idea how you're spending your day, then of course, I can guarantee that you're probably not achieving your goals the way you really want them to be. So I'm going to leave or give you some tips and ideas here, and I'll expand that further on the blog, on my blog page, which will be the drgwen.com stay-on-track. That is the drgwen.com stay-on-track. And this is just in case you are listening to this via podcast. So I'm going to share with you a spreadsheet, a resource that's going to help you to track your time, your 168 hours. First of all, to do this, you would need to wake up and understand what you're doing every minute, moment by moment. I have created a spreadsheet, and I'm having some expansion done to that sheet right now as I speak to you, so that you will be able to not just schedule your week, but also have the daily schedules automatically entered after you've entered your week, and to total the number of hours you spend each week in each category. This way, you know how you're spending your time. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to describe that to you so you can begin to track that. Write down, get a spreadsheet or a sheet of paper, and record your Monday through Sunday activities every single hour, probably broken down in 15-minute increment or 30 minutes increment, however you would like, maybe 1 hour increment. But I want you to track on there exactly how you're spending your time every single day. Every moment of your time, from wake to sleep, not a minute wasted. Then at the end of that week, I want you to get your calculator together and figure out how much time you spent in each category. How much time did you spend sleeping, eating, getting dressed, working, watching TV, wasting time? Just track that. That, I feel, would be a great reality for you, a great wake-up reality for you to see exactly what you're doing. And that can give you a foundation from which to build. So you now are aware of what the things are that are wasting your time during the day. With your priority list, now you're going to schedule. I recommend Google Calendars, which is a wonderful tool for me that I use every single day. However, you can also use a paper calendar, which you can download one from Beaucal.com, Beaucal.com, and you can write on there what your daily tasks are going to be. Now, on the calendar, what you're doing is putting in the task, and you're not necessarily putting in the hours of the day. You're just writing a list of the tasks. That's perfect. You know, that is especially perfect if you find that you have a schedule where you're easily interrupted, where people come and they interrupt you, and you don't feel like you have a leverage on your time that you have the control over that you'd like to have. So if you find that your schedule is easily interrupted, then what I do recommend is that you use that paper calendar or a piece of sheet and just list the tasks that you have to get done. My recommendation is before you touch emails, before you respond to text messages, before you take any phone calls or anything of that nature, that you tackle those 5 to 10 items on that list for your day. If you don't do that, you're likely to slip off into distraction by emails, by social media, by any of those trappings that we can get caught up in. So you don't want to go to those resources until you have actually completed your tasks. Another way to schedule your day is if you feel like you have great control over your day, then I do recommend that you do time blocking. That is, you put in your schedule the times that you are actually going to take on certain tasks. When you do that, it is really important to pay attention to that. Now, this is especially why I like Google Calendars, because the reminders pop up to remind me when a task is coming up. What I like to do is to schedule a 30-minute reminder. This is if I'm not traveling. If I'm traveling somewhere, then I put a reminder which will give me time to leave and get to where I need to get to. But I put a 30-minute reminder, then I put a 5-minute reminder and a 1-minute reminder. That 1-minute reminder helps me not to lose track of time, because at 5 minutes, sometimes I say, okay, I've got 5 minutes, I can finish up some things. Or it may be 5 minutes, I can prepare for whatever I'm preparing for. But if I'm finishing up something within that 5 minutes, that 5 minutes could slip away. In fact, it has happened to me where it slipped away and I wasn't aware, and then I lost track of that time. So that 1-minute reminder is time for me to stop what I'm doing and to become engaged. So that is a great way on the Google Calendar. On a spreadsheet that I will allow you, this 168-hour spreadsheet, that I'm going to have for you to download, that you can download on the blog page, that will give you an option where you can spell out your entire day, hour by hour, and then have those same items entered in the Monday through Sunday calendar automatically, and then totaling up all the hours you spend in work, in play, in fun, so that you have an idea of exactly how your day is going. So, what do you do, though, about distractions? Because wouldn't you agree that handling your distraction is a great way to stay on task? What are some distractions? I already mentioned some of them. We've got emails. We've got text messages. Some phone calls are distractions. You know what I do is my phone is off overnight, and I do not put that phone back on until I've handled the major tasks in my life. That is taking care of me. That is my meditation, my workout, my eating. And when I'm eating, I try to be very present. I don't necessarily want to bring my cell phone over to the table and be texting or responding to emails as I eat. I just want to be in the moment, completely enjoying the moment. So my phone doesn't go on until a certain time frame. And when it does, I'm not checking emails or text messages first. And well, sometimes I do check the text message to make sure it's not anything urgent from any of my grown children. However, it's not something that I'm going to allow to take control of my day. And so when you have control, you can block your day, and now you can set a timer to help you, or your Google Calendar to alert you when the next event is going to come. And this way it helps you to stay on task. But do you find yourself being tempted by Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, other sites? Well, I know how that is, and it can be quite distracting, and you can spend a huge chunk of your time wasted on these platforms. Now, I have a few resources for you that I'm going to share with you that you can put on your Chrome browser. These are Chrome plugins. So you can click and add them there, and they will help you to keep track of whatever you're doing. The first one is Rescue Time. Rescue Time is fantastic. It'll help to break down every place you have been to on your website. It doesn't track any of your private information. It only allows you to know what pages you've been to and how much time you've spent on it. You've got to tell Rescue Time which pages, some of which pages are work. Especially if you are a social media manager, it may track Facebook as pleasure when in fact it is work. But you can tell it when it's work, and so it will now track it as work. But let's say you don't want to spend time, or you want to manage your time on social media. Rescue Time will not do that for you. It'll just show you where you're spending your time and how much time you're spending, and consequently calculate a productivity percentage for you. But there is another resource that will help you to not get distracted, period. It's called stay focused. And stay focused is spelled FOCUSD. And that is a Chrome add-on again. And what you do is you can go in and you can set up the pages you want to block. So let's say you want to spend only 1 hour on Facebook every day. Well, now you go in and you tell Rest Your Time, I want to spend 1 hour on Facebook, whatever page you want to spend your time on. You tell Rest Your Time what time you want to spend there and you set it. Now, if you want to use all of your 1 hour in one shot, give it a go. But if you want to use little increments of it, you can do that until it adds up to 1 hour. Now, the minute it adds up to an hour, you are locked out of that website. You cannot get in, okay? Not until the next 24 hours. So that's some things, some tools that will help you to stay on track. Now, if you want additional information, which I will be providing, then I invite you to go over to my blog at thedrgwen.com/stay-on-track. And when you do that, you will actually have access to resources you can download. And the blog pages, for those of you who are watching this live cast right now, the blog pages are not yet available. They'll be available later on during the week. But for those of you who will be listening to this via podcast and other medium, then then what will happen is you will literally be able to go to that website and get the information that I've just given to you. Now, my friends, I know this is just a synopsis of sharing regarding how you can stay on task. There'll be a lot more stuff on the blog page later on this week. And for those of you, as I said, who listen to this via podcast, then once you hear this, you can go to the link that I've given you and access the resources. If you have any questions whatsoever, I'd love to hear them. And I thank you so much for joining me. And my friends, this is Dr. Gwen, skyrocketing your business profits from the inside out and empowering lives to live purposefully and passionately. Thank you. Have an amazing day.